This is what all the fuss was about. Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is a dunking of the Avengers: Age of Ultron. Written and directed by Joss Whedon, the film stars Robert Downey Jr., the voice of James Spader, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, Samuel L. Jackson, and pretty much half of Hollywood at this point. Let's break it down. Tony Stark has decided to create an AI that will save the world by forcing the Avengers to not have to fight. Sort of a police force, if you will. Unfortunately, the AI immediately turns out to be evil. This film feels like it's coasting. None of the characters seem to adapt or evolve. None of them ever really seem to believe that they're in any danger. James Spader is awesome as the voice of Ultron, but the script lets him down. His character's motivation seems to change from scene to scene. I believed in Spader in the trailers. I want the Ultron from the trailers to be in this film, because that Ultron seemed a lot more deadly and unstoppable than the Ultron that we got in this one. He's got these two sort of helpers, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, but their motivation seems to change from scene to scene to scene. This film is a lot more global than the first Avengers. It does go all over the world, but at times it seems like a fragmented series of set pieces rather than a coherent narrative. I had trouble connecting with this film. Part of the issue was that all the superheroes seem to be almost indestructible. There is no scenario that they seem really shocked or taken by. There's always something they can do. They never really seem to believe that they are in any danger, and as a result, I don't believe they're in any danger. Robert Downey Jr. seems to be coasting as Tony Stark these days. He doesn't truly seem to be engaged anymore with the character, as if he's just turned up on set, is being Robert Downey Jr. for a couple of hours, and then going home. Mark Ruffalo puts in an excellent performance as Banner, but he seems to have become less haunted than in the previous film, and is more jokey and jovial and seems to have a better relationship with his alter ego. Scarlett Johansson gets the most character development out of this, and I would love to see a Black Widow standalone film one day. But again, the Black Widow at the beginning of the film and the end of the film, despite what we learn about her and what she's had to deal with, they don't really seem to be that different. Chris Evans' Captain America is still the moral centre, and he gets a really, really good line in at the start of the film that seems to haunt him for the entire film. But again, he's still playing the same stock character. No Marvel character appears to be allowed to develop, ever, under any circumstances. The music, lackluster. Yes, the Avengers theme is nice, but could you put on a new piece of music? There's clearly been a lot of money thrown at this film. Estimates say the budget to be $250 million, and a hell of a lot of that seems to have gone on to CGI. But CGI doesn't look that good to me, and I want narrative to my fight scenes. I want to be able to see and understand what's happening, and a lot of these fight scenes just seem to be cuts and edits, and I had trouble focusing on what was happening. There's a really, really good romance between Scarlett Johansson and Mark Ruffalo's characters, and that's beautifully brought out in the film. It's a lot smaller than the first one, but it does take so many digressions in trying to set up other Marvel films that it forgets to tell its own story. There's a lot of good lines here, there's a lot of humour, and I did laugh out loud a few times. There's a few twists and turns as well, and a few characters I didn't expect to see, and that's really good. The film never feels stuffed. It feels long. It feels like it could have had 15 minutes taken from it, but it never feels overstuffed, and that's credit to Joss Whedon, who clearly still loves that he's basically been given an unlimited amount of money and been told to go and make a superhero film with it. I didn't really connect with the characters. I didn't really find... Marvel cannot write a decent villain to save its neck. Marvel has not created a decent villain yet. Even in Daredevil, which I watched and am planning to review at a future point, I don't really find the Marvel villains that menacing or threatening or believable. And that, I think, is an issue that they have to overcome at some point. Ultimately, this film is good. It's better than the Avengers, but it could have been so much more if they'd cut out 15 minutes, made the villain more believable, made the characters actually look like they were in peril at some point, then I would have rated this film higher. But as it is, this film is if nothing else. If nothing else is on and you want 2.5 hours of good old popcorn fun, knock yourselves out. But I was hoping for something a little more. I'm Daniel, this is a Dunking. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.